matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA096.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you.
And we are going to catch all the banter. But before we do that, something that we keep forgetting, we collectively keep forgetting, is our intro. So,
Oh, I'll do it.
would you? Okay.
You want to do it?
No, I want you to do it.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to Doomed to Fail. We bring you history's most notorious disasters and failures and fun stories. And I am Taylor, joined by Fars.
Yes, I've been on the lake all day, and I'm recording this after a day in the sun and a little bit of
That's great.
beers.
Good for you. Good for you.
How's your weekend been? Tell me about
Great.
it.
My mom came. We had a great time. She made chicken and pepper kash, which is like her specialty meal. So we made that
What
together,
is
and it was
that?
great. It's just like chicken in like a shit ton of paprika, and then you make these like little dumplings, and then you make these like vinegary cucumbers, and you eat it all together. It's really good.
Is that a cultural thing, or is that
hmm
what
Yeah,
is
it's like a
it?
thing that her grandma used to make. It's like Bohemian, which we had to look up, but Bohemia used to be like the Czech Republic area, so it's like from that area of like Eastern Europe.
Okay, fun.
Yeah.
Do
Mhm.
you do a lot of like Bohemian Czech cuisine at your house?
No, it's just that.
What do you make?
Like for my family?
Yeah.
That's such an interesting question. My daughter only eats dino nuggets and noodles, so I make her those. But Miles eats more stuff. I do tacos a lot with like fake meat. So I do like fake meat with the canned refried beans as like the main part of it, and then like seasoning, and then the other things. So make that into a salad or tacos. Or I'll do um, like a pulled pork or a pulled chicken in the crock pot, or
Wait,
um,
why fake
sometimes
meat tacos if you do pulled pork?
I like the fake meat better, and I like the fake ground beef better than
Interesting.
regular ground beef because then you don't like accidentally get gross parts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
guess when I'm
fair.
cooking it. So I like that a lot. And then Juan and I mean also Juan and I've been making steaks pretty often. I'll do that. I made steaks and mashed potatoes the other day. It's really
Nice.
whatever I feel like. Like I'm in charge of food, and it's whatever I feel like.
Okay,
I was
I
like
was just
I would love
curious.
to have a private chef who just made me whatever they felt like making me. Because that's what Juan has. Really has no he like just eats whatever I make, which is great.
I've
You
always
know?
thought that like when you see celebrities and how they get super fit and super in shape or lose a ton of weight, it's like it can't be that hard when you can afford your own private chef to like get
100%.
in amazing shape.
Yeah. No, 100%. Remember when like Rob Mack from All of a Sudden he got like really
Yes.
ripped. And he was like, it's super easy, you guys. All you have to do is work out 6 hours a day, have a private chef make your meals, and have Fox pay for it. Like,
Yeah, it's
duh.
totally
If you just
doable.
had
It's
all of that.
totally doable if like
Yeah,
it's just when you have a life, it's less so
I know it's hard to do anything. But yeah, that's usually what we make around here. Florence loves noodles.
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Rachel has been the sole chef at this household because if it's up to me, I'll just like throw a steak on the skillet and then just
But you
fry it
made
up
that
and eat it.
great brisket.
I mean, yeah, but that was only because you guys were here. Um, Because like, who am I impressing? Why am I cooking for myself? Like, what's the point of
Yeah,
making something nice for myself? It makes no sense.
it's hard because like Miles is just starting to eat like regular food. This is my biggest failing as a parent is how bad they are at eating. But like I don't know. I feel like my mom used to make like she'd make spaghetti, she'd make tacos, she'd make chicken dishes and do all these things. But we would all eat them. So we'd have like a full dinner every night because she was home all day. And so we got home, there'd be dinner waiting, but there were 7 people in the house and we all ate it. And I don't know why my kids don't eat anything. I don't,
It's
so it's
it's
hard
the
to be
sign
like,
of the times. I think it's the sign
yeah,
of the times. Yeah.
yeah.
Not that I know
So
anything about kids, but still.
that's okay. I always tell them they're very smart considering. So imagine how smart they would be if they ate vegetables.
No kidding.
Who knows? Who knows?
Or fish. Um, so I think today is a you day.
Yeah,
And are we gonna do hints or am I never gonna guess it?
you're never gonna guess it. I don't know. This is kind of all over the place.
Okay. Yeah. I think our listeners are used to that by now.
I thought it would be better because I got a book on the subject and like I listened to the whole thing and then they only talked about the actual thing I wanted to talk about in the last like 20 minutes of the book and I'm like, Well, that was really unhelpful, and I spent the past 2 weeks reading this, waiting for it to happen. So I do have other research that I did. So I'm not going to make you guess, but um, I will share the book that I read and some YouTube videos that I watched about this because I was thinking about napalm and the firebombing of Tokyo. So that's what we did
Yep.
last time I did it. And I wanted to focus on like incendiary weapons from the ancient past. So I'm going to talk about a mysterious and deadly weapon called Greek fire. Have you heard of Greek fire?
Yeah, I think the Mythbusters did
They
this.
probably did. Like, there's approximately 7,000 white dudes on YouTube who think that they did it as well.
Technically, I'm not white, so I don't count as part of that demographic, but yes, I probably consume the same contents.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
So they're all there. The book I read was called Greek Fire, Poison Arrows, and Scorpion Bombs, Biological and Chemical Warfare in the Ancient World by Adrienne Mayer. It was good, interesting, but like very little bit was about Greek fire, and Greek fire is like the biggest words on the cover. So I'm like, I don't know. Call your graphic designer because that
Do
was not what this
you
book is about.
did you see the Battle of BlackRock on the Game of Thrones episode?
No, yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
That
All
green,
right,
the
you
green
know exactly where
fire.
I'm going with this. Yep, okay,
Yes,
cool. All good.
that's like the example, and like they also did it in Pirates of the Caribbean. They had like a thing with it. But let me tell
Okay.
you about it.
Yep. Same page.
Um, so we saw napalm in the firebombing of Tokyo and a lot of like the other wars that happened in Asia, like Vietnam and Korea. There's that picture that is really famous of the little girl who was like running away and burned. Her name is Fan Tai Kim Pu. I said that wrong, but she's still alive. She's only 62. So she's, not that old, and images of her kind of running away naked because all of her clothes have been burned off and she has terrible scars, and we're just like burning villages of people. So fire's always been like a really dangerous weapon because you can't fix yourself, even now, you know?
Yeah, it's
Like
horrible.
if it's horrible. Um, so if we go further back into myth and into the Byzantine Empire, which is where we'll talk about Greek fire the most, there's some things that have a little bit of truth to them, a little bit of myth. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about different kinds of like biological warfare and like surprise warfare and like trying to create weapons with like ancient technologies. And then I'll talk about the Greek fire. One thing to mention is while you're making all these things, you can totally die by accident. Like if you are making something that is so incredibly flammable that it kills people like immediately, you're probably going to have a couple of those guys like blow themselves up, you
Dude,
know?
I think that's like why thought that Timothy McVeigh had accomplices because they were like nobody could make something this powerful without like a
Hmm.
ton of support. Like it seems like it's a big project.
Right. You need like one person stirring a pot and one person chopping the chicken. You know what I mean? Like if you're cooking, like you can't just do it by yourself.
It's like the anarchist playbook, except like it's about
Yeah,
chicken fricassee. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So also this type of warfare. So we talked about last time, I think we talked about like how bombing civilians and bombing cities is like terror warfare because you are trying to get the civilians to be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And how in most of warfare, it's probably like most of this is just people being like, I just want to live my life with my goats. Like, please let me just live my life. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to be part of your fucking war. But you have to like put the pot on your head, like we've talked about a bunch of times, and like get your butt out there because you have to.
Yep.
Um, so they so there was that, and then this stuff started to happen where you had these like ways to like do these bombs that aren't really bombs, and I'm going to tell you what they are, but people thought it was kind of cheating. They're like, if warfare up until this point had been like, I'm going to stab you in the face, you stab me in the face, like really like Roman legions hitting each other, then like ways to injure someone from afar was like new and maybe cheating. Which we could definitely say that now. Obviously, if it's like if we're just going to have drones kill ourselves, kill everybody, that's where we're headed. But the idea of like shooting an arrow or throwing a grenade or having a flamethrower, was a little bit of oh, you're not going to come up and stab me to my face.
Yeah, that's what they used to say about snipers, I think in
Hmm.
World War One or two. I forgot. It was like around that timeline of like they were considered like the cowards of the
Yeah.
group.
And I imagine, because like whenever I whenever I see a sniper in the news, which is like almost never, but those guys are like, oh, I killed 500 people. And you're like, fuck, like,
It is interesting how that became like badass because I do get the sentiment of like it is much harder to kill someone face to face.
yeah, like we wouldn't do it really. Like
But
very few
also
people would be
there's
able to.
something to like it takes a different brain power to like be like I gotta account for wind and the
Oh, sure.
gravitational force of the sun this hour of the day. Like it is crazy like what they do, but
Yeah.
I understand the sentiment on both sides.
I do too. Yeah. And I feel like it's like something that will continue as we like get other like robots to fight our wars for us. So some of these are like kind of encased in myth and some of them aren't. But like for example, Hercules, like the Greek god, he died because of a poison cloak. So there's a lot of like poison that happened in like the ancient world. And people were afraid of it. Things that like I don't understand, but I feel like the word like hemlock is like
Yeah,
you know that's poison, and so people would take like little bits of it to make themselves not to make themselves like immune, which is like similar to like just take a little bit at a time, trying to get your body used to it, things like that.
like a
So,
vaccine.
like a vaccine, exactly. So, there's definitely lots of poisons. They could really hurt you. And then also, like, I feel like the food could just kill you anytime up until like very recently,
Yeah, of course.
for like other reasons as well. So, there's that to be worried about.
Is that why
Um,
they only drank alcohol? Is because that was the only safe version of a liquid you could have because you knew the bacteria would be killed?
so it's like that. I think that that's like oversimplifying it, but I also think yes. So, there's things that like during the temperance movement, in America, one of the things that came out of that was water fountains because there was no way to get water. Like it was really hard. There was like no, you wouldn't have like running water in your tenement, and you wouldn't go out and like buy a bottle of water. So you would just like, yeah, like have beer and like have alcohol because it was distilled and like potentially safer than like whatever water you could just like find. So they made like public drinking fountains. You could go and get your own water, so you had another option, even, you know.
It's kind of fun. You only feed your
Sometimes,
kids beer. It's kind of
sometimes
fun.
you're just like you're Bud Light thirsty.
Your
You're like,
Bud
I'm
Light
so
thirsty.
thirsty. I just want to drink a Bud Light.
I'm more of a Coors guy. I've never been into the Budweiser family.
Mm, interesting.
Anyways, sorry. It's
Oh,
been a long day
no.
on the lake. I'm like
No,
having
this is
weird.
again excellent.
I'm having lake banter with you.
I like it. Lake talk. Okay, so a couple other examples before we get to the fire, which I will explain in detail. Um, One way that kind of combines the poisons and the hurting someone from far away is obviously an arrow and also a poison tipped arrow. So like a lot of the gods in Greek myth would like dip their arrowheads in poison. The word toxin is from the Greek word toxin, which means bow, for your bow and arrow, because poison arrows were so popular. Some cultures, even like in parts of like rural Africa now and like places, they will roast like poison frogs and like poison snakes, and all of the oil that comes out of the roasting pan, they'll put onto the tips of their arrows. But it's one of those things like those are, or like even like in South America, the kind of frogs that like if you touch it, you will die. So you have to like spear it into the ground and like get its essence onto your arrow without dying, and then never touch that arrow and then shoot someone with it.
Yeah, it seems kind of hard.
Yeah. Obviously, you could do that with snakes as well and with the hemlock on your arrows. Then this is like biological warfare before they even like knew it. But there's like, obviously like throwing like dead cows over fortified walls that were full of the plague and, putting your dead bodies in a pile to like make sure that people got sick. So the different ways like people without understanding the actual science behind it, they're figuring out ways to make people get sick
Wait,
and
why did you
do that.
say like hemlock? Hemlock's that's a
Plant.
yeah.
But you could also put that on your arrow.
Okay, okay,
It's like another thing you could use to poison your arrow.
okay.
Um, Did you know that the United States is trying to this has been around for a while, but like think of weapons to like calm people down and like sounds and like things that like make you feel like you're on fire, but you're not on fire. And the department is called the Department of Defense Non-Lethal Weapons Program. And I like believe that zero.
Yeah, yeah. I almost did an episode on this actually
Did
because
you? Oh, it's interesting.
so it wasn't on that department. It had to do with the Cuban thing where a bunch of
Mhm.
sound waves cause like fucking hemorrhaging in like
Wild.
U.S. mass. I'm absolutely the fact that we like fly B-2 bombers over our adversaries, everybody knows what that is, means that like there's stuff that's like beyond our comprehension that
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
actually within use.
I think we said that before. This is like just like a whole secret stash of
Yeah, of course.
planes that we've never seen. So another thing in ancient warfare, there'd be animals. There'd be like bears and elephants, which is exciting. There were also grenades, and I'm talking like when I say I'm talking like the year like 100 AD. It's like the year 100. There were things like grenades, but you would get like a clay pot and fill it with like either Greek fire, which I'm promise we're going to talk about, or things like bees and scorpions. And you would th capture poison scorpions and throw them at other groups, and then the clay pot would shatter, and then the scorpions would just like be everywhere.
You know what's funny? Even when I've like hated someone, I've never gotten creative about how I want them to die.
It's real creative.
Like, I've never gone that far with it.
Yeah, they would fill the grenades with, like, I say grenade, but you know what I mean. Like they fill like the pot with shrapnel, like we do now. Like people do that like all the time. Like fill it with like hot nails and things like that. They were also at one time, some army versus Alexander the Great's army. They filled grenades with sand that was so hot it was like red and molten. And when they threw it onto the enemies, it would break, and then the hot sand would go into their armor, and they would, just be useless and it'd be terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
People are terrible.
You know, another one that I learned about, another before I go talk about Greek fire, there is in the Battle of Syracuse in 212 BC, and also in the latest Indiana Jones movie. Did you see that one?
No.
I loved it. I don't know what the popular
What's
thing
the
is, but
latest? Like, is that when
212.
Harrison Ford was 78?
Yes.
Okay. No, I did not see
Um,
that.
so anyway, the Battle of Syracuse is mentioned in it, and Archimedes is there, and he's like a philosopher, whatever. But what he did that probably worked in that battle is he had a bunch of mirrors going from like mirror to mirror to sun and caught the boats on fire. And in 1973, some Greek scientists attempted to recreate it, and it worked. They had 70 different mirrors like all over, but they caught a boat on fire in like seconds.
That is the thing that Mythbusters did. That is what I
Did
was
it
thinking
work?
about.
Did it work
Yeah, it
for them?
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really cool.
It's
Like
pretty brilliant. Like,
it's pretty brilliant, and you wouldn't know what the fuck was happening. Like all of a sudden, your boat is on fire.
yeah, that's
It's
cool.
coming from like the sun.
It's
Oh, it's so
metal.
cool. Yeah, so cool. So yeah, so that is something that works, and so that leads us into Greek fire because we're talking about a boat catching on fire and how fucking dangerous that is. Because if you're on a boat and it catches on fire, your boat is gone, and you are going to drown or whatever, be trapped in the fire, like burned to death on a boat. Sounds awful. So Greek fire itself it's a mystery what it is actually made of, but essentially it's like a flamethrower from a boat to another boat. And it wasn't gunpowder, they didn't have that, but it was a flammable liquid gas that would be you would be able to control how it shoots out of like a I'll tell you about the mechanism, but it shoots out of like a tube and catches other boats on fire. And
Okay.
it catches the water on fire. So everything is on fire. It doesn't get doused by water. It is somehow like petroleum based thing. There's a thing called naphtha that is like camp fuel that could have been used in it that's like very, 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 very hard to put out. You need like vinegar or sand, which you
This
don't have
does
on
sound
here.
like the Battle of Black Rock because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that also Dragon's Fire, I think they called it. That
Was it
also,
green?
yeah, that also
Yeah.
would work on water.
Yeah, exactly. So the flamethrower from boat to boat, probably made by, there's like an engineer who perfected it. I'll tell you about him. But made by like, it's made in like a cool secret ancient basement by like a guy, like when you're in a movie, like I don't know, maybe like in Game of Thrones, where you're in like a thing and you go to the basement to like see your witch or your
It's
remember,
literally Game
remember
of Thrones. Like you're
yeah,
literally
remember
describing
Nero
that
had a
scene.
witch? Yes, exactly. Like you go into the basement and there's a guy there and he's like, I got it. And he's like kind of burned and like kind of smoky. Like that's exactly what it is. And like that all happened. We don't know the recipe because they did such a good job keeping it a secret. So like Mythbusters and other people have tried to do it, but we'll never know exactly what it was. Constantine the Great told his family that it was a gift from heaven. He was the first Christian emperor, and he said that an angel told him how to do it. There's other examples of like incendiary devices from China and Asia as well, but this is like the big one. They think that the actual components of whatever Greek fire was made of like pine sap from different trees and like the resin, and then sulfur and like maybe that naphtha petroleum based stuff, just like other things, and then it catches on fire. Like as soon as you put a flame to it, it just like goes like a lighter and a can of hairspray.
Okay, I can
You know,
see
do
it.
that in movies. So it makes
I
it
literally did
very.
that to a wasp's nest once.
Did you? Oh my God. I was thinking the other day how when we were at your house, you and Rachel were trying to secretly kill wasps, and it was really funny because we could see you and you were like trying to kill them.
It's normal.
Um, so this makes it really difficult to have like a sea battle because the water is going to be on fire because whatever it's made out of sits on top of the water and like just like a gasoline would, and it's definitely petroleum based and like because they had the natural resources to do it. Um, they It was mostly used in like between like the years 600 and 1500, which means that the good news is that in Greece in that area they got to use it against the Crusaders, which I'm all for. I'm all for that. Um, but someone who said one of the descriptions from the Seventh Crusade says, quote, "The tail of fire that trailed behind it was as big as a great spear, and it made such a noise as it came, it sounded like the thunder of heaven. It looked like a dragon flying through the air. Such bright light did it cast that one could see all over the camp as though it were day, by reason of the great mass of fire and the brilliance of light that it shed." It's like 1,000 degrees. So in this case, they shot it at a camp, but like, it's 1,000 degree whoosh of fire coming at you. It was used in the first Arab siege of Constantinople in 677. So the Greeks would mean the Byzantine Empire, and in this case, the Arabs were the Umayyad Caliphate, and they burned all of the ships. The Byzantine Empire just like burned all of the ships for it, because an engineer named Kallinikos, that's very Greek, he perfected it probably in a dungeon, like you would do,
As you
wearing a
do.
robe.
Yes.
And then they were able to like start using it. So I feel like I wish there was like a ton more, but like the fact is that it's a mystery, which is super exciting. Um, in 1109, they were saying that it was made from, again, pine, resin, sulfur. It burned on water. It the part of the mystery is that there was like thunder and much smoke, which people made people think that potentially there was gunpowder involved, but gunpowder was not invented yet, so it definitely isn't that. But I think fire itself is just really loud. You know, I don't think that you remember how that fire has like a loud roar until you are like in it,
I mean, I
you
think
know?
about like I keep wanting to say Event Horizon because we've been texting about Event
Hmm.
Horizon. What is it called? The Horizon? The BP guys, the
Oh
oil
yeah.
well,
Hmm.
Horizon, whatever. Like whatever it's called, Horizon. Like that was all flames on ocean water. Like this
Hmm.
isn't an inconceivable concept. Like, can we not? I mean, here's the thing: if you discovered oil, but oil had no utility
Right.
outside of this point, then nobody gives a shit about it until
Hmm.
it finds a commercial value with
Right.
like internal combustion engines. Like, I don't know, they could have discovered oil. I mean, this was the Middle East. Like, they probably,
No, exactly. That's why we don't think that there are things like this more north because they didn't have the natural resources to be able to create it.
there you go.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. So it's a liquid. Okay, here's how it works. I'm just gonna tell you. There's a siphon. You're in the boat. It takes a couple guys to do it. One guy, so it looks like, and I'll share a picture with the thing, but it looks like there's a big tub of the actual like liquid itself, and it's being heated. So it's a cauldron being heated below it with like a fire. Then there's a guy whose job is to stoke the fire with like the blowing thing, you know. And
Yes.
then another guy's job is to pump it. So kind of like it looks like a bicycle pump, but like that idea. So one guy's pumping like air through the cauldron to push the liquid into another pipe where someone else, so I think it's like three people, controls a valve to see how much of the fire goes out. And then there's that match, like um a flame, and then the liquid goes through that flame and then it fires. And they can move it back and forth. So even Emperor Alexios the First, his siphon nozzles, he had them be lion heads. So it's like a lion was spitting fire at you,
So cool.
which is kind of cool. Um, and then you could aim it and control how fast it goes. Like it's not a perfect weapon because you have to be within 10 meters of the other boat. But once you got them, you got them. You know, like there's no way to put it out. And then the wind just like continues to make it worse. Um, and then later, by the 10th century, Emperor Leo VI, he had like overseen the invention of a handheld version of it. So you could literally, it was just like a flamethrower now is just like it's gasoline coming out of the thing and it's like the liquid coming out and you do it. So it's almost exactly like that. And so now I mean they say that they use it for like, clearing vegetation and other things, but I'm like, why would you ever actually need a flamethrower? But if you're really going to go in and like burn down a village, like that's how to do it, you know? And so that was, in the 900s they were doing that. And then just to kind of like just to like finish it out. So it kind of went out of fashion and like, that's actually a mystery, like exactly what it was. But I do think that, your boat is on fire, it is sinking, you're on fire, the water is on fire. Like, um, thinking of like all of the people who died that way in the bottom of the ocean, burning.
Yeah, you know what's sad is it made me think about like the fires in Maui and how
Hmm.
people ran into the ocean, but the ocean was also boiling hot.
Yeah. That happens in fires all the time. That happened in the fire valley of Tokyo. People went into pools and they're boiled to death.
Ugh.
You like assume that water will be helpful, but it isn't if the water is like hot enough or also on fire because you have that like layer of some sort of petroleum based whatever that is like continually on fire. And then with like the napalm, which goes a step further, is that it's actually sticky. So what they were doing in Tokyo is like a bomb would drop and then it would shoot like arrows of napalm everywhere. And it would just like splatter over a building and just be fire. Because also examples of other types of fire that just self-ignites. So you're like, you have no chance of getting away from it.
We've done a lot of like explosive episodes. Remember the devil's venom?
Oh yeah, yeah,
We got into this quite a bit. Um, Also, what this made me think of is like how we're modern, like you and I and our listeners are modern humans
yeah.
for
Hmm.
the most part. And if you were to put us in like if you were to put us with our current knowledge in like the 800s, I couldn't invent this. Like,
Oh no, no. I think we've talked about this before. I do think we could invent the printing press. That's the only one I think we could invent.
could
I
you
think we,
at
I think
scale? Could you honestly? Could you at
I think
scale?
I could suggest it enough and work with other people to make it. Like I couldn't explain how
I'm the
fucking
ideas
radio
guy.
works.
I'm the ideas guy. You figure out how to make it work. I'm
Yeah,
telling you we
like
can do this.
I'm telling you this is possible and it's
You
gonna
sound like
change
Steve
everything.
Jobs.
It's gonna change everything. Because I don't think I could like, invent a telephone, but I think I could with a group of people figure out how
Could
to
you
make a
invent a
printing press.
flamethrower?
I think I could now.
Really? Really?
Yeah, because
Really?
I think if with a couple tubes and some
A
some really
couple of
flammable
tubes?
liquid, I think I could do it. I think I could. I think I would start by like taking a fire, like a candle, and like throwing something
Dude,
flammable on it and being like, look at this.
if you put a gun to my head and said create a pen, here's all the materials, I couldn't fucking do it. I don't think I could do that. Like, how do I get the ink in the tube for one? How do I do that? And then how do I make the ink only release when there's pressure applied? Like,
I think it has to do with pressure is how you get it in and out.
I hope that in this hypothetical, I'm stuck with you, Taylor.
Oh my God. Someone put us back in time into a dungeon and we'll make weird shit. And even if we don't know what it is, we'll be like, this is a poison. Give it to an enemy.
Like a
And I think we
clock.
can figure it
Would you
out.
be able to create a clock?
Absolutely not. I have literally no idea how time works.
I don't know how
No,
time works either. We're useless,
absolutely not.
useless.
Absolutely not. Yeah, that's it. That's all I
That
have.
is fun.
Fun.
It took me way back to the Battle of Black Rock, and is it called Black
Hmm.
Rock?
I don't know. I feel like I had it.
Is Castle Rock Black
Everything
Rocks?
mentions it because it's like the thing in Game of Thrones, but I haven't watched that much Game of Thrones, but I do think that is
But
the same
it
thing.
sounds like it. I do remember the Archimedes thing. That was the
Hmm.
one that I watched on
Oh, it's
MythBusters.
It says in Game of Thrones, wildfire is stored in ceramic pots and used in a pivotal naval battle at Blackwater Bay.
Blackwater. I'm saying BlackRock.
Hmm
Isn't BlackRock an investment group?
It is. I think that they're a little bit, yeah. They used it in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. The pirate Blackbeard had Greek fire, and then in Assassin's Creed. There's a segment in Constantinople where the player uses Greek fire hand siphon on an Ottoman ship.
I will
We
say,
also
like,
get
my general perspective is like, there's truth in myths. Like, a lot of times, like, there's a logic
yes.
behind why the myth exists, and like,
hmm
I don't know, like, now that you're talking about it, like, that makes sense to me. Like, if you discovered oil, but like, it's like, what am I gonna
hmm
do with this? Like, who gives a shit? Like, who cares about oil? It doesn't matter. There's no
Right. So
utility
just
to it
figure it
commercially.
out.
Yeah,
And like what? Oh, just like some dude found it and tripped over it with a candle and he died.
yeah,
And
exactly.
someone was like,
Like
"Oh,
it makes sense to me. Like, I don't, in my mind, I'm like, it's not a huge mystery. It's not like a weird combination of pine nuts and this and that. It's like somebody just discovered oil because they're in that part of the world anyways. And
well, I
then
think the
there was
pine made it sticky." Er,
maybe that.
but yes, but yeah, no, I think yes. You're like, "What do I do with this thing?" Then you're right. I can't. It's not worth what it is worth now for what we use it for now. But I know that I can do it. And like, of course, with everything, you're like, "How can we use it to kill each other?"
Yeah, that's the first. That's literally where every
To
technological
defend yourself,
advancement
but to
comes
kill
from.
people and like do all those things. Exactly.
That's fun.
No.
I do love that there's always somebody out there thinking about how can I kill people with this? It's like with
hmm
no goals in mind. How
hmm
do I manipulate this to kill somebody?
How do
That's
I get these
fantastic.
scorpions to someone faster and more
It's
violently?
it reminds me, Taylor, of like that one death penalty they had in the ancient days where they would like take the condemned and put them in a big old bag, like a
Yeah,
potato sack, with like a viper, a monkey, a dog, a leopard. It's like who got these animals? Like how many
right.
people
Well, that's exactly
died?
part of it too. Like who like, getting the poison off a poison frog is not easy, you
Like
know?
how like you killed 20 people to be able to kill this one guy in this insane way.
Remember in Hook when they put the guy in the boo box and it's full of scorpions?
Yeah. It's stuff like
Fun.
that. It's
Yeah,
like anyways.
yeah,
That is fun.
yeah, yeah.
I love
Thanks.
I love creative means of killing people.
And I love every time we're like, oh, George R. R. Martin just like read a bunch of history books.
Dude, which kudos to him. Like that, like I didn't know
No,
this until you
totally.
said it. Like it's
No,
like I don't
totally.
like yeah, take all that and repackage it and be creative and come up with a
Like
really dope
remember
story.
Olga of Kiev had the red funeral?
Wait, what did?
Olga of Kiev when she killed all those people at her husband's funeral and they called it the red funeral.
Oh my God.
Remember?
Oh
That was
my
fun, right?
God. That's a
I know.
true story.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
History repeats.
hmm
Very fun. Very fun.
hmm
Um, just out of curiosity, how did you come up with this topic?
I think it was because I was thinking about just like the firebombing, but also I feel like I've heard of Greek fire and how it was like a mystery. And I just was like, is there enough that I can like learn more? You know?
That's fair. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good way to do it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, like, my topic has nothing to do with this, but I went down an insane web around the Ark of the Covenant.
Okay, they mentioned the Ark of the Covenant in this Greek fire book and how like there might like it did kill people somehow,
I didn't
right?
read that part.
But
But
not
like
like Indiana Jones, but like it's potential that there was like a toxin in it that like makes it hard to be around.
my whole thing was like it was like is this real or is it not real? And like it was like nobody knows. Like it could be just totally made up and it could be real and nobody knows and there's someplace
It's
in
probably a little bit of
Ethiopia
both. Yeah.
that like thinks they have it or they said they have it. Like nobody knows. It's just fascinating. It's like this old history stuff, which is like if y'all knew how much we would dwell on this stuff, you probably wouldn't have destroyed it. Or like you would have written it down.
Yeah, and like there's so many things I feel like in like Dan Carlin stuff where he's like it's frustrating because the people writing about these ancient battles skip over a lot because they just assume that you know it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like he was dressed, like a Roman legion. Great. And then you're like, but what does that mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I want so many more details than that, but there aren't any because they assume that you would know, or it was something that was like accompanied, like read out loud and accompanied like an actor wearing the thing, you know?
yeah.
So you would have that visual that we're missing.
So write stuff down. You know what? We are the historical metric of this time period. Hi, Miles. You can't hear me, but I'm gonna wave. There we go. There we go. It's a wave.
I pulled out
Spider-Man?
his tooth.
Did he get anything for that?
He did. Oh yeah, the tooth fairy came.
Tooth Fairy came.
Yeah. $10. Can you believe that? Inflation. Thanks, Obama. $10 from the
Seriously,
tooth fairy.
$10? Dude, I got like maybe one of those like horrible Werther's candies for that.
That's funny. Those are good. Like one at a time. Um, cool. I do have some mail to
Sweet,
share
let's hear
here.
it.
So I just wanted to tell you that Ben, who I talk about my friend Ben from high
The
school stuff all the
pilot.
time, pilot, he said he was like, Taylor, call me if you have any plane questions. Because I definitely like in my plane crash episode intro the other day, I was like, talking about it. So he was like, call me if you need anything. There's so much stuff that's happened after Tenerife, like everything's fine. And then he suggested some shows that I feel like you've probably watched, but Mayday Air Disasters or Air Crash Investigations on Amazon.
Every single one,
Yeah,
both the UK and the American I've seen.
I figured, but I'll watch them. I didn't also wanted to tell you that we watched No Way Up last night with the plane crash that turned into the shark attack.
Was that fun?
It was fun. Every character, I was like, but it was a fun
It was
idea.
so stupid and so implausible,
hmm
but like I don't know, it was kind of fun.
I know, like what a
When
fucking day. Your plane crashes and then you get eaten by a shark.
when the scuba divers outside waving at them, and and then the sharks. It's
And
so
then it's just like the
dumb.
scuba diver's leg just like floats past the window and they're like in the fucking fuselage. Oh my
It's
God.
very fun. It's very fun
Yeah.
for a free movie. It's great.
Yeah. Exactly. They were fun.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for writing in.
Yeah.
I will. The Green Dot is my new favorite YouTube channel for um air disasters. Mostly because like they don't do this thing that like Mayday does, which is like they tell you
Hmm.
everything that happens and then they tell you the why. They tell you the why as the
Okay.
sequence of events are unlocking. Like every other plane show is like this plane took off with this many passengers on a holiday to whatever, and then it crashed, and then this that, and then did you know they use this metric? The Green Dot doesn't do that. Green Dot like starts like yeah, they loaded the plane up and they used a different measure of unit of measurement for fuel capacity, and the
Yeah.
plane took off, and then at this point, like it just tells you sequentially what's actually happening instead of just like painting a story.
Cool. I subscribed.
It's awesome, and also the fact that like it's one guy doing it
hmm
and the production value is as good as it is. It's incredible. So, anyways, is that it for listener mail?
Yeah. I have another one, but I'm gonna do it in the other episode. I only have two.
Well, thank you for sharing,
Million.
Taylor.
Thank
I
you.
love ancient history stuff. So, and you brought a lot of memories back of Black Castle Rock, whatever it's called. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I'm also reading a lot of like romantic fantasy books these days. And it also is all like medieval warfare kind of. You know what I mean? Like
That's
ancient
great.
warfare, but also
Yeah,
there's magic and sometimes dragons and
which is
everyone
like
is in love.
which is dope because like if you think about like fiction, a lot of those people who are like super well learned when they write fiction, like they're pulling on historical stuff.
Right, they're
So
not
like you
making it
learn
up. Like
something,
they
yeah, you
yeah.
learn something. Like they're making up like the
Yes, there's
events and
magic.
stuff. Like the fundamentals are
Yeah.
probably being pulled from reality.
From
So
somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
sweet.
Cool. Cool. If you do have more plane crash calming words, we're at doomedtofailpod@gmail.com. We have a Patreon, Doomed to Fail Pod, and all the socials at Doomed to Fail Pod.
Green Dot on YouTube. Write to us
And
for
Green
the love of
Dot.
God. If you're listening to this, I'm your
I'm
biggest
looking
fan.
at like the what is it called? Like the images for the YouTube videos, just like the still images, and one of them just has like a plane nose down to the ocean. It says, "My God." So cool. I'm excited to get to that.
They know how to get you to click. But I'm telling you, like fundamentally, from someone who's watched a lot of this stuff, it is great content. Support
There's,
that guy.
I guess 5 days ago was the 40th anniversary of the JPL 123. You did that one, right?
JPL. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
hmm
Yeah. Seriously, it's been that long.
Yeah, so let's see. Well, if you want to learn about that one, I don't know how we got here, but if you want to learn about the
Yeah,
Japan
that's when the
Airlines,
stabilizer wing got blown off because oh, but you know what? I'm spoiling it. Never mind.
yep, that is episode 205, so not that long ago. June.
Listen
We
to
did
it.
it in June. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Cars.
Sweet. We'll go ahead and cut it off there.